What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT. That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we even get started, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and taking out part of your day, night, lunch break, or whatever time you have to spend with me here on RMT. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get into it today. So today, we want to talk about just raising our children. Just raising our children. And today, I'm just speaking from a point of me. I'm just say this. You're like, well, how can you speak on this? Well, I have two lovely daughters that I'm raising up. Two lovely children that I'm raising up. One of them is 16 and the other one is 14. And so we've been on this journey for a little while and they're teenagers. So a couple of things that I picked up as a father, as a dad, as a pops, just being around them and kind of adjusting the way that I parent from the way my father parented me as a young man and parenting girls, and parenting them from being young girls to being young ladies, And so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So check this out. One thing that I learned about it is listening, right? And I'm going to tell you a little story. A little story that happened was that I was a coach. So I coached a t-ball team and I coached a basketball team. And so when they was playing t-ball, they were smaller. I really didn't have that much to say. Didn't have that much to critique them about because they were so young. Everybody, we just out there having fun, laughing, mistakes that they made. It wasn't that serious. I wasn't tripping over it. So what happened was that went from the t-ball, and so they decided that they wanted to play basketball. So when they were playing t-ball, I think they was around maybe 4, 5 years old when they was playing t-ball. They might have been 5 and 6, if I'm not mistaken, when they was playing t-ball. Might have been a little bit younger. I might be off a little bit. And so they left there and they started playing basketball. So when they started playing basketball, it was a little bit more competitive, a little bit more competition. And so what was happening was like every time we'll leave a game, I would be hard on them about they didn't do this. They should have did this. You should have did this. You should have did that. Oh, you did this. You should have did that. I would just scold them on everything that they did wrong. I never got to a point where I just congratulated them on everything they was doing right and highlighted and build off that. All I did was just criticize what they wasn't doing. And when they get ready to say like, well, Dad, this happened, no, it ain't no excuse. It ain't no excuse. I didn't take the time to even listen. And I sit back and I was thinking about it. And I was talking to my wife. And I was listening to Inky Johnson, right? So Inky Johnson was telling about this article that was written called The Ride Home. And what they were speaking about the article was that a lot of young athletes, they lose their passion or they lose their love for the game during the ride home after the game. Not because of they had a bad game or what was going on in the game or how they was feeling. It was the way that the parents act after the game that caused them to lose their love for the game. And after I read that article, it kind of touched me. It touched me because I wasn't taking out the time to just congratulate. All I was doing was just constantly beating them up. I was constantly just talking about what they should have been doing, what they could have did better, instead of actually listening to them and seeing how they felt about the game, what ways they think they can improve, or how you feel about the shots you made or the pass that you made or the mistakes that you made. So what it was saying in the article was like, you should just listen to what they got to say. And plus when I started coaching them from a coach perspective, you have to try, it's a thin line between separating dad and coaching. And so when you want to go into dad mode and coach mode, your child will start to get confused. So I had to start to understand, like, listen, after these games, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chill out and listen to my daughters. I'm going to see how they felt about the game, how they felt about if they won, if they lost the game, if they made a bad pass, if their shot was off, they was having an off game. How did they really feel about the game? And what adjustments could they make? So what I started to do was like, they used to get in the car with me. And so the first time that I had to do this, it was tough on me. And so that gets to my first point where one thing I had to start learning to do was listen. I had to learn how to be quiet. I had to be quiet and listen. And as a parent, listening can help you out so much within raising your children. Because I'm going to tell you this, we don't know everything. Yeah, we don't know everything. We might think that we know everything. We might think we have saw everything, and we might think we have encountered everything up under the sun. But we don't know everything. That's what I had to do. Put my ego to the side and understand that the child that I'm raising is not me. It's not my siblings. It's not my wife, her family, her siblings. It's not none of them. This is someone that came from me and her. So now it's my time to understand what I need to listen to, take that information to help them grow. That's what I need to do. Instead of taking it what I want to see and what I want to listen to and give it to them and tell them, well, you need to work on this. So I started to listen. What it did was help me to adjust my game plan on how we practice, help me to adjust my game plan on what they did after practice, if they even wanted to practice, and the stuff that they needed to work on. And let's just take a step back, because if you listening, and once you listen, you have to be receptive to the information that they give. You got to be receptive to it, because if you don't receive on your end, if you listening just to respond to your child, if you listening just to put your input on the other side, if you listen just to tell them what you want them to know, they might shut down anyway. They might shut down anyway. So I look at it like this. Since we're talking about basketball, they take and they study. They watch videos on how the other team, well, not the other team, they watch their self in games. So after they going over the game and figuring out, okay, well, I don't shoot good from the left side. I don't shoot good from the right side. I don't dribble good with my right hand or my left hand. Or against this team, I put up these many points. On this team, I didn't score well. So they looking at what they did wrong, and they taking that information to work on themselves. So me, when I'm listening to my kids, I'm looking at how I can adjust my parenting by listening to them. Now I can adjust my game plan because I have took notes. I have listened. I have watched my children. I know my children, their tendencies and what they like to do, what they don't like to do. And me paying attention as a father, I can come back to myself and be like, you know what? Let me come up with a game plan. Talk to my wife. Look, baby, this, that. Let's make these adjustments to help them out as a team and come out. And as we got a game plan and we'll adjust it, and you have to customize it for each one of your children. The same thing that might motivate one child, it might not motivate your other child. I'm just saying, might not motivate the other child. And the things that one child might like, the other child might not like. And so that right there, you as a parent is learning your children what they like to do, what they don't like to do. And I know some of y'all like, well, I'm not around. And I can't totally speak to the people that's not around, but I'm just saying the time when they're around you, you might can make the adjustments then. I'm just saying that, but I'm just speaking to the people that have the children in the household. Or even if you have them, sometimes this could work too. I'm not saying that it won't, but I'm just speaking from my perspective, right? And so just adjusting, listening, and being receptive to the information that they give you and coming out with a game plan to help them out. And And also, look, I'm going to read this directly from the Bible. It's Proverbs 20:26. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Okay? Proverbs 22:6 states, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And with us training our children, it don't say just train them on the Bible, and then just train them on all biblical principles. Should you train them on biblical principle? That's your choice. God give us free will to do whatever we want to do. But training up your child is making sure that they got the information they need to survive if you're not around. If you passed away or if they moved away, they got enough. You gave them enough information, enough training that they'll be able to survive without you. That's training them on bills, paying your bills on time, when they do, how to put your money aside to pay your bills, taking care of your credit score, taking care of your health, taking care of your hygiene, right? Knowing how to not only keep the hygiene, but also keep your household clean. Understanding that if I don't pay your bills, these are the consequences. Behind my choices, these are the consequences. How to invest my money, how to not only on that part, but even on the emotional side, on dealing with different situations, confrontation between different children, or you have a confrontation that you have to take care of business, or how to talk to people when you're trying to handle things. Those type of situations. And even learning about social media, how to conduct yourself on social media, or how to keep yourself out of mess on social media. Because when I was coming up, we didn't have social media. That's something my parents didn't teach me about. That's something that I learned about myself. Not only learn about myself, but learning through my children as well. So just listening to them and understanding, like, look, I got to raise them up to make sure that out here in this world, they'll be able to survive without me. That's the point that we want to get them to. Training them up, getting them right, understanding. So just listening to them, having patience, understanding where they're coming from, being receptive to the information that y'all go back and forth, and make sure you get an outstanding understanding on what you're trying to do, and helping them out and training them to be able to survive for themselves. Now, I can't say that I got all the answers, I got all the questions. It's just a couple of things that's been helping me along the way with my children. Just talk to, also one thing that helped me was just talking to each one of my children by their self. Like I just take my daughters out on dates separately. Take them out on a date and just say, you can say what you want to say, or ask me what you want to ask me, and you won't even get in trouble. Those things are open up conversations that they'll feel safe around you in order to open up and say certain things that they wouldn't normally say. And it'll lead to conversations that could open up more of you, and also give them see a side of dad, or see a side of mom that they never seen, that they be like, you know what? They understand me more. They see where I'm coming from. Because your children don't know everything that you done went through, and don't know every story about it, because we don't tell them. But I have those personal conversations with them that I only have with them. I don't talk to their mother about it. I don't talk to her sister about it. I don't. I just speak to them and see how I can build a connection with them in order to continue to train, and to continue to help, continue to love on them, and to be a better father and have a better understanding on how to parent them, to raise them to go out here in the world. So that's all I got for today. I just appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all want to holler at me after this, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Real Men Talk Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to hit me up personally, Stanley Nash on Facebook, Stanley Nash Jr. all together on Instagram, and also Stanley Nash on TikTok. So like, comment, subscribe. Check this out. If it's anyone you want to have on the show, to come on the show, let me know. And I'll try to get them on the show. Anybody that previously been on the show, you want them to come back, let me know. If there's anything that you wanted me to speak about on here, a subject, just DM me on one of those platforms and let me know. Some of y'all got my personal number. Just hit me up and just let me know. And I'll try my best to put it out. But until then, appreciate you for tuning in.